What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. We are back. England semi-final day. England against Argentina, against the old enemy. It's going to be a big night tonight. The nation is going to hold its breath at 8 p.m. tonight. There's not going to be a car on the road. England's biggest game for as long as I can remember. Obviously, we were in that semi-final against Croatia back in 2018, but this is the RGs. This is the RGs, and we've got to do the business.
It's just different tonight. I've got a mixed bag of excitement, hopefulness, and also nervousness as well. It's just like we have such an opportunity tonight, and it's such an iconic matchup. I couldn't have wished for. I think if you could pick out a final, semi-final, like out of your dreams, like of what's going to be an iconic match, this is probably one you would pick out of all the teams in the World Cup. So we've got, and I think we've got such a big opportunity to win. I think we're the better team. I think we can beat them. But this is Argentina. It's going to be blood and thunder. It's going to be just so much aggression. There's going to be fouls galore. The referee ain't going to have a moment to rest. It's going to, whatever happens tonight, it's going to be a match for the ages. You just get that feeling. We're going to remember it for a long, long time, whatever happens tonight. So it's just one thing. You're just gearing up for it. You're gearing up for a massive, massive game tonight. But what a chance to get to the final. Amazing chance to get to the final.
Mad. Absolutely mad. We're going to get into some stuff in a second. But first of all, big up to OK Jersey. Get 10% off all your sports gear, all your football gear. OK Jersey. OK Jersey. You know, the best in the business. Get your retro stuff, your current stuff, the new Spurs shirts on there right here, right now. And yeah, I mean, there's no better place to go. Really is top quality. Do remember when you're ordering, get a size up. And they're so cheap, like with 10% extra discount as well with your code Spurs. It's just a no-brainer, really. It really is.
Yeah, gearing up for the new season as well. They've got all the latest replica kits on their website, so go check them out. Really great quality. They're brilliant replica shirts. Best you could get. Great, really good delivery. They're very efficient. And they're just great quality, and when you get them in, you'll be so surprised about how good these kits are. So go check them out. Best replica shirts in the business, and yeah, 10% off if you use our code.
Yep, all customizable as well. So get yours now. But let's talk World Cup a bit more. Pedro Porro fired Spain into the final yesterday against all the odds. Everyone was saying, yeah, this is going to be a walk in the park for France. I think a lot of people underestimated the power of Spain yesterday in the game. And Pedro Porro, man of the match performance, goal, fantastic goal as well, which is his second of the tournament, his first 2 goals for his national team as well. It was a breathtaking performance from Spain. They just controlled that game from minute 1 to 90. He locked down that right-hand side. He was a threat going forward. And now, because they won, that means a Spurs player is guaranteed to win the World Cup for the 3rd time in a row, which I believe is a Premier League record.
Yeah, I think it's going to be level with Man. I believe Man City is going to be level with, but I think I believe it's a Premier League record, which is mad to think about. No Premier League team has ever had a player win a World Cup 3 years in a row, 3 World Cups in a row, which you just don't think about how unlikely it is until you start to think about the amount of players in squads and all that kind of stuff. But unbelievable for Spurs. I mean, it's great for us. I mean, obviously, we're not the ones winning the tournament, so I guess it doesn't really matter from that sense, but it's just nice. But in terms of yesterday, talk about Spain for a bit, what a performance. They really dog-walked France yesterday. It was they outclassed them. They were a class above. They really showed that it doesn't matter how much talent you got on the pitch. Obviously, Spain do have some very good players, don't get me wrong, but we all look at the starting 11s, you think, yeah, France have got the upper hand here with their attack, with their defence as well. You're looking at thinking they probably got the better teams out there, better players out there. But Spain showed that if in international football, if you can get your tactics right, if you can be well drilled, if you can be organised, if you can play almost as close to a club side than an international team, that can make all the difference. Because France, they just do what they've been doing. throughout Deschamps' time, which is no disrespect to Deschamps, but all he's done ever since he's been their manager is make sure you just got some basic kind of facets of tactics. They've usually been a bit pragmatic ever since he's come in, but this World Cup may be a bit different. But essentially, all he's done is make sure they're well solid in the defence when the opposition have the ball, and then just let the attackers do what they do when they have it. And because their players have been so good, it's worked for them against 95% of teams. But when you come up against a very tactically astute, a very high technical Spanish team with brilliant players of their own right, they were shut. It was not even a contest. It wasn't even a contest. That's how much of a difference it made. Spain were levels, absolute levels above France yesterday. It was a shock to everyone because, as I've said, France had the better team, and everyone was anointing them champions elect for the whole World Cup because of how good their team was. But we underestimated how much of a difference all those things make for the Spanish side. And you know what? They've beaten them the last 2 times they've faced, and maybe we underestimated them we definitely did underestimate them yesterday.
There's no maybe about it. They were clearly underestimated by everyone. I kept saying there is no team that is going to beat this French team. Now, looking at that game yesterday, I'm like, how are we going to beat this Spanish team? Because they were so dominant. I was saying for sure England can beat the Spanish, but after watching the game yesterday, I'm not so sure now. But it's
going to be a close one. But I do think the biggest thing that was France's letdown was that midfield, and I think we said before the game yesterday that Spain do have the better midfield, and that's what made the difference yesterday.
100%. But look, we need to start putting, a lot of people need to start putting respect on Pedro Porro's name. The tournament that he has had, he has been the best right back in this World Cup from when he got his first start, which was the second game, till now. He has been phenomenal from a defensive perspective and attacking perspective. Yesterday, like I said before, he was man of the match, got given the official man of the match, scored the winning goal, the second goal to seal the victory for France. And what a goal it was, by the way.
Yeah,
what
brilliant.
A goal it was, breaking the lines and a finish to die for. So, I mean, there's been a lot of slander that have gone to Pedro Porro from our fans, from other fans, a lot of people. But I think now he's got to get the respect, man, for putting in these performances on the highest stage. Big players produce big moments on the big stage, and that is exactly what Pedro Porro did yesterday.
And you know what? We've done an unbelievable bit of business to get that contract signed before this World Cup, because not only could more teams be interested now after his performances, but also you could probably command a bigger wage after some of his performances after the World Cup. So we've done a very good job to sign him up. But I think we've always on this channel been a big fan of Pedro. We've been championing him. We've been saying, he could easily be playing for Man City or for Real Madrid or whatever, these big teams. He's that good. And I feel like a lot of the time we always get a lot of pushback. There's a lot of people in the comments, or just Spurs fans in general, especially on social media, who always like to zoom in on whatever flaws he has, or whenever the team isn't functioning, he's not maybe at his best. He didn't have the best season for parts of last season as well. And people like to, I don't know what it is. It seems as though ever since he's come in the club, right, he had that poor start where he was getting roasted in the first few months of the season. Against Leicester and a few other games. And it seems that there are some fans out there that just at that moment made their mind up on him and refused to change their opinion despite any contradicting evidence. I don't think he's been bad defensively for a while now. I think he's been a lot more solid than people give him credit for. People keep going on about he's weak defensively, this and that. That guy locked down Barcola and Dua yesterday like it was nothing. And in fact, he was the one making the running, and he was able to lock them down at the same time. You watch that goal they scored. The whole team build-up was literally going through Porro. The whole goal, you watch it from start to finish, I think it was 25 passes or something ridiculous. It was a brilliant team goal. But Porro was right at the hub of the whole goal, starting from the back into the middle and obviously finishing up the move as well. It's a phenomenal goal, and Pedro Porro was right at the heart of it. What a performance. What a World Cup he's having. 2 goals in this World Cup as well. I think he can do everything. He's a phenomenal player. He's incredible on the ball. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best defender in the world, but he's a good defender. He is not a liability like people like to claim. And you put him in a settled team, you put him in a functioning team, he will be considered. he should be considered one of the best right backs in the Premier League. He is that good. He is that good. There's nothing he can't do. And people who all for some reason like to say we should sell him, he's bad defensive, he's a liability. I think they're eating their words right now, because this guy is just putting a man of match display in a World Cup semi-final against France of all teams, and there's no denying his quality now.
Yeah, look, I think it's fair to say, at times he did struggle last season with the tactics that we had, and we didn't put him on a pedestal or a place to shine because of our tactics. But you look at the tactics that Spain have, put him in a progressive team, playing to his strengths, he will flourish. And that's exactly what De Zerbi will bring to him.
Yeah, a team that likes to keep possession, a team that likes to control the game with possession. That's exactly what Porro likes to do. And all Frank had him doing was spamming passes down the line. That's pretty much what his whole game was. And then all of a sudden, everyone's getting on his back. But I think you can see this guy. I think anyone who's been watching him can see he's a quality player. He's a quality player who's been underutilized, and as well, not only that, we heavily rely on him in terms of he plays every single game. He barely misses a game. He's always injury free. He's so passionate as well. He always has a good relationship most of the time with the fans on the pitch, and he always tries to G them up. I think he genuinely has an affection for the club. I don't think over his time he's been getting the love he truly deserves at Tottenham. And obviously it shouldn't take a World Cup semi-final for fans to realise that. But let's see next season under De Zerbi. Let's see him take his game up a notch in a Spurs shirt.
That's a reason why Man City and Real Madrid were interested in him over the summer.
Exactly.
That's the reason, because he's a top quality player, and he's proven that over the course of this World Cup, and he's proven he can be part of a very successful backline, because Spain have barely conceded a goal this tournament, and he's been part of that. So massive props to Pedro Porro. And now here's the long list of Hugo Lloris in 2018. You had the last World Cup with Romero, and now one of Pedro Porro, Jed Spence, or Romero Senesi are going to win the World Cup. And it's quite astonishing for a team that have finished 17th twice over the last 2 years and not been great over the past however long it's been, 8 years. We're going to have 3 World Cup winners.
Yeah, obviously, it's mad to think about, but obviously it doesn't quite work out like that, because we weren't 17th when the other World Cups were happening. So it's not like you compare those teams to then. But yeah, I mean, not only that, very important players. Romero has been an absolutely massive player. We had the French captain when he won it. And I guess we'll see what happens this tournament. Whoever wins the tournament, how important they are. But obviously, if Porro does it, he'll be the best right back of the tournament. Romero, obviously, he's very important for Argentina. Spence, when he's played a pivotal role as well, off the bench as a squad player. So kudos to all the Spurs players. Big up to them. It's a really weird record. You wouldn't think that, you would have thought that record would have gone to a bigger team, but it looks like we're the ones that are going to be snatching it.
Yeah, I think they all would have played massive roles. Like you mentioned, Lloris was the captain of France, had a great tournament. Albeit he did make a few mistakes, was it, in the final?
Yeah, made one in the final.
But all in all, he had a great tournament. Romero was the best centre-back at the World Cup, and it looks as though right now, you've got to say Spain are probably the favourites to win the tournament, and we would be looking at the best of the best. One of, in terms of a defender, in terms of a backline, you've got to say he's probably one of the standouts of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
So
we won the World Cup.
Have we won the World Cup?
We have won it.
We've won the World Cup.
We
always win the World Cup.
We always win it. We win it every World Cup. We win the World Cup.
We win it, yeah.
We are world champions.
Yeah, it's true. Chris Angombar says, well, West Ham keep saying they won the World Cup in '66.
We're taking their mantle.
So we win it every other year.
We win every year. We win every year. Come on. Look, it's a great record to have, I guess. It's a nice record to have. Don't know how much
it's just nice to have a world champion in the team. Like, a lot has been made out of Romero being a world champion and everything like that. Mm-hmm. When Lloris won it, we kept saying we've got the captain of the World Cup winning team, and we're going to have another one next season.
So, well, yeah, exactly. Whoever it is.
So,
unless Argentina
to
win
be fair, if England or Argentina win it, Romero and Spence are not going to be here next season.
Point.
But Senesi, he's made a key role for Argentina this season.
Has he had a minute?
He started one game, didn't he, in the last group stage game? But I think the only one I think will probably take something from his Porro if he wins the World Cup.
World Cup winning right back.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you have it. Massive big up to Pedro Porro. Hopefully, if England win tonight, we won't be praising him too much after the World Cup final. But all his performances to date, up until this point, have been astonishing. He's left the best till last in the biggest moment, World Cup semi-final for Pedro Porro. So I think people need to start putting respect on Pedro Porro's name for these performances that he's having for Spain at the World Cup. So that's that. Let's move on and let's get into a Tottenham transfer update. A little bit to get into today. We're going to start off talking about Jed Spence, because Fabrizio Romero has done an update on Jed Spence last night, and he said that Inter Milan remain in talks for Jed Spence, as revealed here and seen as a top target at right wing back. Spurs' valuation is higher than Inter's expectations, but talks are ongoing and the player is open to a move. So very interesting, these developments for Jed Spence. Obviously, when you're looking at the teams in for him, the only one's been seriously talked about is Everton and Inter Milan. So it's obvious where his choice would be. Inter Milan, Champions League football, a chance to win Serie A next season, and a place where I think he could be really dominant, a league which he could be super dominant in.
Yeah, but there were some reports that they only want to spend 25 million. So if that's the case, then I think we want more than that. I don't think we'd sell to Serie A for 25 million.
Well, I think I saw a report saying Spurs want in the ballpark of like 40 million. Inter only want to spend 25, but I guess it's positive at some point that they're still at the negotiation table and maybe a price can be met at some stage.
I think he's going to go within the Premier League. I think they're the ones who are going to be more willing to stump up the money that we're going to demand for him. I don't see him going to Inter Milan. As we said before, Inter don't usually do big deals like that.
Not since the new ownership anyway.
Yeah, like they don't do like the 40, 50 million pound deals for some, especially for someone like Jed Spence. And as well, I don't know how much they got for Dumfries, but I don't know if it was a massive fee. So I think Spence would want to go there. I can understand that because they're a big team, and Serie A, Champions League football, title challenges every year. I'm sure it's quite appealing. Will he get the wages that he wants out there compared to the Premier League? And are Spurs going to get the fee they want? So I don't know. I don't think Inter Milan happens. I think after this World Cup, especially if we win it, but even if we don't, there's going to be a whole host of Premier League teams looking at Jed Spence.
Yeah, look, I think people are looking at the past two performances from Jed Spence, and he comes out looking really good, to be honest, particularly after the heat he was coming under at the beginning of the tournament. Last game, everyone was saying Spence was the one that changed the game, which he did. He was fantastic in that game. So I don't know, like at some point, are Inter not going to start spending a bit of money?
I don't know. I don't know for this summer, but can they compete with Premier League teams if they come in for him? I just think he's going to go in the Premier League. That's the feeling I get. I think Inter, we'll talk about them in a bit as well, but I get the feeling they'll be outbid, and I think they won't be able to match what Premier League teams offer. That's what I think. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see who, though, because apparently Everton only want to go up to 25. Inter only want to go up to 25.
I think there'll be more. There'll be more teams and there'll be higher bids. I think we haven't heard anywhere near the last of who's interested in Jed Spence, in my opinion.
I guess it depends how much Inter want him. Romano is saying that he's a priority target for them, and he's their first choice to replace Dumfries. So if they value him that highly, maybe they will stump up a bit of money.
Maybe, but if they're saying now they want to bid 25, can I see them spending an extra 15 on top of that? I can't. Yeah. I think they've seen Tottenham are open to selling him. I think they've seen that maybe Spence, wants to leave, and they think they can get a cheap deal, an opportunistic one. And I just think after this World Cup, there will be a lot of Premier League teams in for him. I'm not saying that maybe not the top six, but pretty much anyone outside of that is going to be looking at Spence, I think. So I don't think Inter will be able to compete.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a club that might go for him is someone like Bournemouth. Bournemouth, recently gotten so much money for sales. They've just sold their right back, haven't they, to Fiorentina or whoever he went to. Maybe Bournemouth could be a viable team for him.
I think all the teams. I'm pretty like all the teams outside the top 6 are going to be interested. I really believe that.
Well, Bournemouth one of the top teams outside the top 6.
Playing wise, yeah, right now. But they've got obviously new manager, different. We'll have to see what kind of project they if Spence wants to go there. I think Spence will probably look for a bit of a bigger club after being at Tottenham than Bournemouth.
So what kind of club do you reckon?
Villa, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Even Everton are a big club. Maybe could he go back to Forest? I wouldn't be surprised. Sunderland, I wouldn't be surprised if they go in for him. Any of these clubs, I think they're all going to be looking at Spence.
All right, let's talk about Cuti Romero. His price has been revealed. First and foremost, Fabrizio Romano says Romero is leaving Tottenham this summer. Inter have held talks in recent days. Romero was offered by Tottenham as an option during the talks for Jed Spence. Inter are keen, but the costs are very high. Barcelona want him as well. Longari says, as already anticipated, Cuti Romero has asked Tottenham to leave in the summer. In Spain, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have been interested for some time, just as Inter confirms its interest, even though they will not go to the fee that Tottenham want. It's a complicated deal. He said that information is confirmed. Tottenham's asking price for Cuti Romero is 50 million euros, which is very low for a player of Cuti Romero's standing. Paul O'Keefe says that Tottenham want Romero gone this summer. The asking price is 50 million euros. However, a fee of 40 million pounds could be enough for Romero to be sold. Imagine Romero going for 40 million pounds and Vuskovic is going for 50 million. It's
nuts,
like mad, isn't it? And Van Hecker with 1 year left in his deal is going for 53 million. It's just like, it's just nuts, really.
Yeah, I think we should be getting a lot more for Romero, and I think in another scenario, we would be stubborn with our price. Maybe even if Levy was in charge, he'd be stubborn with getting at least 60, 70 million for him. But as I've said, there's a lot of circumstances going into this. We've already signed our replacements pretty much. I've said before, I think we've already budgeted for Romero leaving this summer. I think that's already been part of the plan. So I think that's an open secret. Teams know that. So with teams knowing we are going to sell regardless, they're obviously going to try and drive that price as low as possible. 50 million is not a fair price for Romero. I think you're getting a good deal if you sign him for 50 million. But as I say, he wants to leave and we want to sell. When those two things happen, there can be movement there. There can be kind of compromises. And I think we probably will compromise this summer on the price because I think we've already made our decision on him. He's not sticking around. On him.
Like, how are we going to make a lot? Didn't we sign him for like 60?
No, we signed him for 45.
45. So we're going to basically break even and maybe even make a loss.
Yeah, I don't think we will make a loss. I think we'll probably get 50. Between 50 and 50. Yeah, hopefully. I think we'll try and get as close to 60 as possible. That's, I think, what we're going to try and do.
They're saying the starting price for Spurs is what we're going for is 50 million euros, which is
I don't believe that.
45 million pounds.
I don't believe that. I think it's higher. I don't believe it.
Well, that's what Longari and Paul O'Keefe are saying.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No.
I don't know. We have no reason not to believe it.
Just sometimes they get things wrong, and I don't think our starting price will be that low.
It's crazy if it is, though.
If it is, that's pretty. If it is, that means they're probably gonna accept lower than that. If that's our starting price, which is why I don't believe it.
What if no bids come to the 60 million mark or even the 50 million mark? Then what do we do?
Then maybe we'll go down, yeah.
Which is probably the case right now. No bids have.
Yeah, but the World Cup's not ended yet. I think we'll have to wait and see what happens after the World Cup. He's still there. He could even be another World Cup winner. His standing might go up even more. He's had a pretty good World Cup. So I think
the only way we get that sort of money if there's a bidding war. That's the only way.
Yeah. And if all these teams are interested, there might be.
Yes, but we're looking at teams interested in him that might not be interested to pay that kind of money. Atletico was saying last year they only want to spend 35 million or whatever it was. Inter Milan definitely not going to go to that price. The only one maybe is a Barcelona.
Depends. Maybe Atletico could get a big chunk of money for Alvarez. Barca, I think, have money, so there could be a bit of a bidding war. Maybe Inter want to push the bat on one player potentially. I don't think they do it with Spence, but maybe with Romero they do. That could be a possibility. They don't usually do those types of deals, but Romero is a different kind of player. He's a bit more special than someone like Spence.
Yeah, Longari said that they already refused to pay that sort of money for a defender that they really wanted, and with Romero being the age he is, 29 now, or 28, going into 29 this season, it's highly unlikely that Inter go anywhere close to that price.
Which doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah,
Because Inter Milan, they don't spend that kind of money. So look, I don't think we'll make a loss on him. I think we're probably going to get 50 million for him, and that's it. And we're going to have to make do, because we've actively put the message out there. We're trying to sell him, and when you're doing that, you are compromising your negotiation position. That's what you're doing, because you're saying we will accept offers for him if you meet our price. So those selling clubs are not stupid. They're not just going to pay the price, are they? They're going to try and get that price down. So I think Spurs have been in a different position when we're going in for players this summer. We're going for players who are going in for players at clubs who are not looking to sell. So we're looking to pay a price because that's going to convince them. Whereas these clubs are coming to Tottenham, and they're basically knowing we are going to sell. So they're going to try and get as low as... I can see this rumbling on, to be honest. I can see this rumbling on until the last stage of the window.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, but there could be a situation to say that, Tottenham just want to get this signed off and move on with their lives, and, these clubs might end up going for other targets if it rumbles on that long.
Yeah, there's all possibilities, but I think they want Romero, and I think it's going to rumble on. I think he'll be sold. He'll be sold for a price which we're not going to be happy with, and that's fine. Is what it is.
Yeah, true. So again, we'll see what happens. Out of those three clubs, which one do you reckon he actually goes to?
I just still got a feeling about Atletico. I think he ends up there. I reckon Simeone gets in his ear and convinces him.
Right now, obviously, I think they're the least at the table. I think there's been nothing actually about Atletico this summer. It's all about, it's all harking back to interest last summer. The two teams that have been accredited with actual interest this summer have both been Barcelona and Inter Milan. But you never know. Maybe Atletico come back to the table.
I think they will.
You would hope so, because that will just drive up the price if more teams are interested. But we'll see. Maybe even a Real Madrid come in.
Don't they need a centre-back?
Who have they got? They got Rudiger.
Rudiger, who's obviously he's old and injury prone at the moment.
They just got the Liverpool defender, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Canate. They don't need one really. They won't come in for him. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how serious they are. But yeah, look, I don't think we make a loss, but I think we're going to send him for around 50, and is what it is. When you've made it clear you want to sell, then that's it. Yeah. That's fine, and I'm fine with it. We're paying the same pretty much for Van Hecker. We've got the player that we want, and we're letting go of the player we don't, and that's what the club is doing.
Yeah, it's just mad to me that a Van Hecker and particularly a Vuskovic is going to go for the same, if not more, than Coutinho Romero.
I agree.
Which is mad.
I agree. I think, as I say, in a different scenario, we wouldn't be accepting 50 and we would be hanging on to him. But this summer, it's very different.
Yeah. It's like you're seeing these deals, massively inflated market, and then you've got a potential two-time World Cup winner who have been central to that, going for.
Yeah, but all these deals are from players which their clubs are buying them from clubs that don't want to sell.
Yeah, I understand that. Who are we going to speak about next? Just a quick one on Mickey van de Ven. Romano just reaffirms the fact that Mickey van de Ven is staying at Tottenham. Any news that you hear about Liverpool or Barcelona being that him going to either of those clubs is fake news. So yeah, we need him to sign that contract, man. Yeah,
it's gone quiet on that, hasn't it? Let's hope we hear news on that soon. But yeah, I think we've gotten the message from Van de Ven that he's staying. I always thought when I heard these rumours of Barcelona or Liverpool, I never took any notice of them. So I'm glad that it's been reiterated and get a bit of reassurance there. But I don't think any Tottenham fan is really worried about losing Van de Ven this summer.
Yeah, to be fair, there are Tottenham fans worried about losing Van de Ven. And I think until he signs that contract, we're not going to know about his long-term future. But for next season, for sure, it looks like he's going to be a Spurs player. And then last but not least, let's talk about Morgan Rogers. Been an interesting update regarding him. So Hand of Arsenal, who's a very reliable Arsenal source, probably the most reliable Arsenal source, says that Spurs have now shown interest as of yesterday for Morgan Rogers, but his focus is on Arsenal, and if a deal can be agreed. People at Arsenal do maintain he's a top target for the winger and central attacking role at Arsenal. He did also say that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta see Julian Alvarez as the dream signing for Arsenal, and if something doesn't happen with Alvarez and Barcelona, because Alvarez is obviously prioritising move to Barca, he is open to a move to Arsenal. So if the Alvarez deal happens going to Arsenal, there is a chance that maybe Morgan Rogers doesn't happen going to Arsenal. Himothy says that he understands that Morgan Rogers is open to a move to Tottenham, but his priority destination is, of course, Arsenal. However, there are some questions regarding if Arsenal will go to the price that Aston Villa want. Spurs will await the result before moving on to other targets. Rogers would hold out for a move to Arsenal, though.
So we're holding out for a player who's holding out for a move to Arsenal.
Basically,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Sounds like Eze all over.
Yeah, doesn't go right to me. If he's holding out for a move to Arsenal, then you move on, in my opinion. If later down the line it happens, it happens. Like, I don't think we risk missing out on him. Obviously, you could argue if we move on to other targets and then we sign someone and then Rodgers comes available, you might regret it. But I think if we've got other targets, I wouldn't be sitting waiting for Rodgers. I understand Rodgers is quite an exceptional circumstance. He's a top player in the Premier League, and if there is a chance to get him, like, you have to snatch that with both arms. And maybe they're thinking, oh, if we go for Krupi now and Rodgers comes available, have we made a mistake going for someone like Krupi? Is it a similar position? But I think you got to go for players. You got to prioritise players who are desperate to come to you. And if he's looking for Arsenal right now and he sees Tottenham as his second best, then that's fine. We'll move on from him and we won't prioritise him. But if later down the line we're still looking for someone in his position and Arsenal have pulled out the deal, then you go for it. But I don't think right now it's worth the heartbreak.
Would it not be worth just prioritising other positions for now and just to see how this one kind of rumbles on?
I hope that's what they're doing, because he's obviously we have other number 10s right now. We definitely need wingers and strikers. I think we probably are. But I think obviously Krupi seems high on the list, and there's a lot of talks of wingers coming in. So I do think we've got our fingers in a lot of different pies at the moment. But I'm just saying, in general, if we're looking for a player in Rodgers' position and we're hearing he's waiting for Arsenal, then I wouldn't wait for him.
Yeah, I guess if they think or they know or they get a wind of Arsenal, no chance that they're going to go to the price that Aston Villa want. And we should test the waters. We should, make that bid and get him to make that decision, right here, right now. If Arsenal are not going to go to that money,
100%. I've said we should do it now, but it sounds as though we've maybe contacted his camp potentially just to see where his head's at, and if he's saying, look, there's Arsenal right now looking at me, I'm trying to see if there's anything that can be done there. Then I don't know. I don't want to be waiting around for Arsenal, and also you also have that risk of. Arsenal initially, like I say, and Arsenal think he's too expensive, and then all of a sudden they see he's going to Tottenham. They go, you know what? Actually, maybe we'll just do it, and then all of a sudden he'll do a U-turn. Like, that's always a possibility in this one.
I guess just the difference between this and the Eze deal. Eze wasn't that much money. It was it 60 million, 50, 60 million. The Eze deal. This one you're talking about crazy money, north of 115, 20, 30 million, whatever it is. I guess we just got to wait and see what happens, and wait and see if Arsenal are seriously in for Julian Alvarez, or if I guess the first domino is if Barcelona are seriously going to go to the Julian Alvarez money. But apparently Atletico are refusing to sell to Barcelona, and they really wanted to go to Arsenal. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see if they're willing to go as high for Alvarez as they would for Rodgers. It'd be interesting to see what they want, how much they want to pay for Alvarez. Because Alvarez went for 70 to Atletico.
It'll be 150 million, apparently, they want for him, Alvarez. So it's going to be more expensive.
So if that doesn't work out, they could justify themselves saying, okay, 20 million cheaper, we'll get Rodgers, and he's still a very good player.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to go to 150, but are they really willing to go to 150 for Alvarez? Let's see.
If I'm there, I mean, I would, because there's no shortage of money at Arsenal. They're like the rich. They've made the most amount of money this year out of anyone by far. You know, the money that they're making at the moment is just nuts. So,
but you're talking about a Premier League record transfer, aren't you, for Alvarez?
Is he worth it?
I mean, he's a very good player. I don't think he comes in as. I mean, he's a good player. I like Alvarez. I like him. I don't know if you should be spending a Premier League record on him.
There's talk of Alvarez going to Arsenal with Gyökeres going the other way.
If they can do a deal like that.
So I wonder how much money. But anyway,
Probably
we'll
look
see.
at 100 million plus Gyökeres, maybe.
Yeah, something like that, or maybe just a bit below. But yeah, look, I think we'll hear more about this over the coming weeks once the World Cup's over and stuff like that. So we'll see how this one goes. But I agree. I don't like the idea of Spurs going for a player that's waiting for Arsenal. It just brings back bad memories.
I don't mind us going from right now, slapping money down and asking that question. But I don't want us to be hanging around on him and us like sort of expending all our energy trying to get him through the door and convincing him, only for him to stab us in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. That is the Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought you today. There has been a super chat that's just come in, so let's see what's been said. From Coys and Kin Spurs chat, England will be better against Spain since England press like a team, whereas France attackers depend on individual play.
No, I think he's 100% right on that. I think Tuchel's a much smarter manager tactically than Deschamps. I know Deschamps is a good international manager, but I'll explain the reasons why I think so. Tuchel is a different kind of manager. Tactically. The only thing with Tuchel is he's much more used to obviously managing club football than he is international and having more time with his players. So I think we've seen that this tournament, how refined they are. But I do think these are the kind of games Tuchel is probably more suited to. You saw when I remember watching Chelsea when they won the Champions League, they were much better against better teams, and Tuchel always had a tactical plan. He had a phenomenal record against Man City, didn't he? What a record he had against Man City. So he'll know what to expect. He'll know what the job at hand is. If we can get through tonight, I don't think Tuchel looks at that Spain team and goes and is overawed by it. And obviously he's going to be worried by it, but he has done this a number of times to the likes of Man City when he was in England.
The thing is, I'm just looking at the matchup between Spain, potential Spain and England. Maybe we probably shouldn't, because we've got bigger things to focus on right now. We've got to get through the RGs first. But I was looking at the stats of the XG Spain have conceded throughout this tournament, and it's nuts. It's nuts. The biggest game that they conceded XG was the Portugal game, which was 0.6. Every other game has been below 0.3. And it's just like, what sort of animal are we facing here?
I know.
They just don't concede chances.
The thing is, they control the game with the ball. It's not like they sit a low block or anything.
Yeah.
They are very organised. When they press, they hunt in packs. And then when they get the ball, you can't get near them. So you need to go man to man. You need to ruffle their feathers a bit. I think England are probably the best team capable of doing it, to be honest. I think we're the team built to shake them up a bit tactically more than anyone else, in my opinion. So I completely agree with the super chat there. I think France were a complete bunch of individuals who I think Deschamps set them up in a very basic way, which Spain completely exploited. But I think England are a bit better than that tactically. I'm obviously not player-wise, but tactically I think Tuchel's got a few more tricks up his sleeve than Deschamps.
Another one's just come in from Vasiv Mamedov saying, Paul O'Keefe said that we see Krupi as a left winger. So I just don't get that. I've seen Miguel Delaney put in his post Spurs are looking for a left forward, he said, and Krupi tops the list. And I was just thinking he's just not a left winger, Krupi. He can play there if need be, but he's not a left winger. He's a central player.
Yeah, he's not a winger at all. He's a forward. If he plays out wide, he'll be a forward out wide. Like a I don't know, like a Rashford or something. He's not a player. Or like how Foden plays out wide-ish. Obviously, they're very different players, but trying to find a nice comparison. It's hard to. Or when Alvarez plays out wide for Argentina, something like that. He's not a winger, though. He's not a winger. He's a forward. He's a goal-getter. He does his best work centrally. He does his best work near the goal.
Like when Simmons plays out wide, he's not a left winger.
Yeah, he's not a winger, so it does make sense that if Paulo keeps updating us, we are signing Krupi to play on the left. That's one thing, but he's saying we're signing him to be a left winger, so that's a different thing. I guess maybe language could be a bit confused. So maybe he means just to play on the left, and that it's possible because maybe he's setting up some way that Krupi comes in off the left. That's completely possible, but we're not signing him to be a winger. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, well, those are the super chats. Let's move on and let's look at Spurs in pre-season because there's a certain someone that is back, and that is Mohamed Kudus. If we bring up the website, and there you see Sandro Tonali.
Yeah, got his work permit.
Sandro Tonali is there. He's looking beautiful. And let's just go through these pictures and see there's Yang Min Hyuk with Archie Gray sporting his new perm. Vicario back in the gym. Conor Gallagher with all the smiles. Always smiling, that guy, Conor Gallagher. Matisse Tell looking great. James Maddison.
Oh, Madders. Big season for him.
It's got to be a big season. Archie Gray and Richarlison getting put through their paces. Maddison, he is looking fit, Maddison. And there's Sandro Tonali, man, on the grass at Hotspur Way.
What thoughts
Work
of
permit done.
Initial thoughts of him now training in the Spurs shirt? It just looks. I just still can't believe it, can I?
It looks right though.
I still can't believe I'm looking at Tonali in a Tottenham shirt, like
it looks
training.
right. It looks beautiful, and he's here, people. Could have got a haircut for the occasion, but here we go. Kinski. And here we are. This is the moment. Because everyone was saying, is Mohamed Kudus going to be back for the start of the season? We still don't know, but this is definitely a positive sign.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the grass.
On the grass, with the ball at his feet. With
how long to go? 6 weeks to go. 6 weeks to go till the start of the season. So the fact that he's on the grass and he's got a ball at his feet, that is very, very positive in my opinion. So that makes me hopeful. Let's see if when the preseason games roll around, how fit he is. When are we actually going to hear from De Zerbi? Like first, do we get press conferences for preseason games?
Maybe on the tour, but we won't hear from him apart from the tour, if at all.
I'm trying to remember. Did we not hear from them? Maybe we'll do a club interview or something.
If he was just came in as
press
manager,
conferences.
Maybe. Andoni Iraola just did a press conference last week because he just joined Liverpool. But De Zerbi's not just joining. He was
I understand that, but I'm just trying to remember if we do any presses for pre-season games.
Like I said, we've done some on the tour, but not just normal pre-season games.
I think we did, but I don't think the behind closed doors one. I'm trying to remember. Because I remember before Shakhtar, Ange did, when we played them at home, Ange did a press conference. So I think in general, I think all the ones maybe with fans in it, I think maybe we might be. I don't know when the first one of those was.
Definitely not all of them. It's very rare if they do it. We'll see. I think they'll do one on the tour.
Yeah, but it's great to see Kudus back. I think he is a massive player for De Zerbi. I think we saw what he's capable of last season, but I think he's got levels to go up, and I think De Zerbi is the best manager to get out of him.
But it's going to be so nice to see Kudus actually utilised in a proper way, because last season was just madness the way we were utilising Kudus. It was basically go pick up the ball on the halfway line and go beat everyone and either score or make an assist. That's basically how we use Kudus.
Porro's job was to spam it to him, pretty much. That was it. Yeah, it was crazy. And if Kudus didn't do anything, then we didn't do anything.
Exactly.
It was mad.
So it's going to actually be so nice to see Kudus utilised in a proper way. Could have other players that we could use to attack as well. And I think he's going to blow up this season, Mohamed Kudus. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's got more end product than people give him credit for. I think De Zerbi can take his game up a level. I really believe that, and I'm so excited. He is the perfect winger for De Zerbi. He can go both ways. He's so strong. Once he has options around him, the thing is with Kudus, you want to isolate him one-on-one with the fullback, but we were just never doing that last year. He was getting doubled up, and then we had no other option. But under De Zerbi, once you've got options to pass to and you've got other spaces to play in, what will happen is if they double mark or triple mark, it's going to leave space for other players to exploit, which we were not doing last season. We weren't exploiting those spaces. So I think De Zerbi has got a gem there. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do under him.
Yeah, I think the next picture as well is Kudus there, real on the grass with the ball at his feet. Just love it. He looks absolutely ripped, by the way, and he was ripped before, but I think he's taken it up a level. I think he's used this time injured to be in the gym and really build himself up even more than he was before. This guy is going to be an absolute beast next season, and I cannot wait. Next slide, there we go. The man, the godfather.
That is the face of someone who's seeing Kudus back fit.
I know.
And Maddison as well, getting fitter.
That is the face of a man that just knows his club is just splashing the cash in the transfer window. Look at that smile.
100%.
Beautiful to see.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, Destiny, all smiles there.
When are we going to get some clips of De Zerbi doing some training stuff?
I thought we would have got it by now, to be honest. But hey ho.
There's Big Dom.
Yeah, it's got to be a big season for Solanke as well, surely this year.
Yeah, I think
Got to be.
We've spoken a lot about whether we need a striker and all that kind of stuff. And I like Solanke. I've always said that, but it's going to be very interesting to see kind of what we think of him long term. Are we going to keep him around? Are we going to look to sell him? How he looks to use Solanke. I think he can get more goals out of Solanke. I really do. I think
Anyone can, Roberto can.
I think, when under Ange, he got nearly 10 goals. That was also with a big injury. I think he can get 10 goals next season. And if we can sign another striker who can get more than that, then that's great.
Super Benny D back for his 12th time
13th
pre-season,
time.
13th time
Yeah.
pre-season. Quite unbelievable. Is there anyone
Can't
in
get
the
enough
Premier
of us.
League that is more long-standing than Ben Davies for any Premier League club?
Is there anyone in the Premier League who joined their club before 2014? That's a great question.
I don't think there is. Jamal Lascelles, he's gone.
He's gone, isn't he?
Chat, do you know if there's anyone that's been at a club longer than Ben Davies in the entire Premier League? No, Milner's
McGinn?
not.
No.
John McGinn? Nah,
He
surely
was in
not.
2014. Dunk? Yeah.
Let's see Lewis
I
Dunk.
think Lewis Dunk might be. No, definitely not Byrne.
Lewis Dunk joined Brighton. Yeah, 2010.
2010.
There you go. Who just said that, by the way? Who said Lewis Dunk? That is elite ball knowledge.
Jod 8722. So what is Dunk the longest serving player in the Prem? Surely.
Someone said Phil
2010.
Jones.
Phil Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite unbelievable. though.
Adam Smith for Bournemouth. Yeah, he's been there a long time.
Is he still
as
there?
well. Yeah, he was there last season.
Wow, Adam Smith. He was at Spurs, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's been at Bournemouth for a while.
He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Wow.
Yeah, we sold him to Bournemouth for £300,000 in 2014.
Same summer as Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw joined Man United in 2014. Yeah. Solly March. I don't know when Solly March joined Brighton.
Surely,
Yeah.
surely no one eclipses Lewis Dunk. That is mad. 2010.
2010, yeah. That's got to be the longest survey. I can't see anyone beating that.
Yeah. Anyway, well, who's next? Who's next? Destiny back on the grass as well. We need him to stay injury free this season.
Is this going to be the season?
It's got to be. Like, we can't keep going through this with Destiny. We can't.
Well, he's got support this year.
Yeah.
And he's got help. So let's hope even if he does get injuries, we're not hit as badly as we have been previously.
Yeah. Let's look at the Tonali pictures. If you go down, there we go.
Wow.
Sandro Tonali, man.
He doesn't need any. He doesn't need
record transfer.
Doesn't need any help on his cardio. He's already got the best cardio in the Premier League.
Exactly. The man that has 4 lungs.
There you go. Our record signing.
Sexy, man. Sexy. Yeah, putting through his paces. So the majority of these players did this on Friday, but obviously Tonali just came back yesterday, or I said came yesterday, and yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, he's got his work permit all sorted, no problems there, and him and Fernandes. I want to see like a clip of just them like just balling out, just running rings around the whole team. That's what I want to see a clip of.
And his home debut is going to be against Newcastle. It's going to be very interesting. Calm down, bro. Oh, my God. God, can you not appreciate a sexy man when you see him?
When he's a record signing, you can, I think. Come on.
That's Sandro Tonali, man. Sandro Tonali, he's here. He's beautiful. Where was the pictures of Mateus? Of Mateus on the grass, man?
Yeah, we got some before. Yeah, there are some. I did see some. But didn't seem to be in that collection. I'm pretty sure I saw some. Mateus. Maybe it was from the day before, but I'm pretty sure I saw one with the ball at his feet. Anyway.
Release the Mateus with the ball at his feet pictures, guys.
Let's see some training footage. Let's see some football being played. All right, we saw the gym. Okay, great. They're getting fit for the new season. Now let's see the football. Let's see the little De Zerbi press baiting. Let's see the quick comment. Here he is.
They don't want to give anything on. Is that on the blog?
Yeah.
If you go on the Tottenham website, go to the home page and go to the live blog. Yeah, this live blog. Yeah, let's bring this up. You just scroll down. There we go. Sandro, even bigger and better. Keep going down. Yeah, we've seen these ones. And there's Dubravka. Big up. The goalkeeping union.
There's Kinski with his trademark long pass.
And Brandon Austin. There was actually some pictures on social media of Brandon Austin playing paddle with Destiny Udogie. Literally the same paddle club that we go to. Why couldn't they go when we were there?
Next time.
Yeah, keep going, keep going. Oh, look at that one. Keep going. Yeah, here we are. Mateus!
Absolute baller. Look at him. He's just plotting his next move.
He is going to cook next season. Look at that. The ball at his feet. Jamie Donnelly, what's going to happen with him this season?
There's a lot of players that have got Zerbi's got to make decisions on during this pre-season here. Quite a few players. We haven't seen, well, I think we have seen more. There's been pictures of more, but I haven't seen much of Lancashire yet.
It's true that.
Haven't seen much of Lancashire. Obviously, a lot of these young players have got to make decisions on. There's Manor you can see in the background there, so he's been training. So a lot of players, I guess right now, while all the players of the World Cup or whatever, all coming back, now's the time for these players to try and make some sort of impression, because once all these players come back and then all of a sudden you've got all the attention is spread, then it's a lot harder for you to make your mark with the manager. So if they're going to convince him, it's going to be soon.
Yeah, very true. Go on, who's next after that? Dom in the gym? Who's that behind him? Is that Brandon Austin?
Yeah, it looks like Austin to me.
Kota Takai.
What are we going to do with you?
He's alive, Kota.
What are we going to do with you? What a disaster of a season it was for him last season.
That hair is wild, though, from Archie.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
Wild.
Suits him.
Maybe what Archie Gray is doing, he's growing his hair out, so maybe he can get a potential few tugs on that hair and get a player sent off.
I see.
You never know.
Not a bad idea. Clever.
Go on, keep going. Look at this. I think this one was taken by the Southampton guy.
Looks like it's behind a pillar or something.
Maddison has got his all full-on Thor
Yeah.
look at that. Do you even lift, bro?
Come on, let's see some football, man. Let's see some football.
De Zerbi ain't giving anything
That's
away,
it.
mate. He ain't giving nothing away. He's going to take the Premier League by surprise.
We're going to come out on day one and be some super team.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's going to know what
De
hit him.
Zerbi is building a super team, people. A super
There's
team.
Mikey Moore.
Yeah.
So he's back training on Spur. If you've seen, also, I don't know if you saw yesterday on Instagram, Luke Williams-Barnett posted some stuff he's been doing in training.
Yeah, I saw and said him and Janai Beifeld back at Hotspur Way. And they were saying that...
Oh, there's Decky.
Yeah, Decky.
Oh, lovely. He's in the gym. That's good to see.
No, not on the grass yet, though, unfortunately.
Well, we haven't seen him on the grass.
But yeah, that is how pre-season is getting on so far. Mateus and
Wait,
Sandro
what were you going to say
are
about
there.
Lucas Williams-Barnett? And
Oh yeah, Barnett and Janai Beifeld. Apparently, there's what I read is that they're not going to be loaned out. They're going to be sticking around next season. I don't know in what capacity. Will they just be with the under-21s again, or will they be part of the first team as some sort of options? But yeah, apparently they're not going to be loaned out.
Or if you look, Luke Williams-Barnett posts himself scoring a goal, like very reminiscent of Son.
Oh really?
Yeah, like few step overs, go on the outside, and finish it. It was a brilliant goal. Very Sonny-esque.
Well, that is the boys back for pre-season. That is it from us today. Let's just pray for England tonight, people.
Come on.
Pray for England tonight. We got to get the job done. And
Where you're watching it? Put in the chat where you're watching it
by
tonight.
the end of this week, it's all over, people. It's all over, and then we can put our full 100,000,000% focus on Tottenham as pre-season. Tottenham return to the pitch next week, so watch along. I think it's like 4 p.m. kickoff on Wednesday, so very much looking forward to that. You say you want to see De Zerbi ball in action. Well, it's
gonna get it.
1 week, literally a week away. A week away
From
the
De Zerbi,
first-
that's the real World Cup final.
Exactly.
De Zerbi Ball's first pre-season game.
Exactly. So, yeah, everyone's saying, well, Richard James saying pub in capital letters.
Pub, nice.
Get yourselves in the pub, please. And yeah, a Romero red card tonight would be lovely. So, yeah, give us your score predictions for England against Argentina. We'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.